Okay, so we're going to go over gimbal lock and joint rotation orders, and we'll discuss how to make those work for you instead of against you, or actually for or against your animator or against them. So first thing you want to do, so I'm just going to create a sphere. Actually, I'll just create a cube, scale it up, see it. And then all I need to do to see the gimbal is go to my rotation tool, and then in the tool settings, select the gimbal mode. Okay. Now, the reason gimbal lock happens is there's a grandparent-parent-child relationship between these three rotation axes. We can witness that if we go to the attribute editor and select on the transform node tab for the particular object you have selected. Then there's this rotate order attribute. Right now it's X, Y, Z. If I remember correctly, let's experiment. So Z affects them all. So it's child first, so X is the child, Y is the parent, Z is the grandparent. So if I select this object and rotate Y 90 degrees, then this is what's called gimbal lock. You can see that I only have two axes to rotate this object by now. Now, the problem with that is I can't rotate it this way. So most animators will say, well, I'll just switch to a different type of rotation. I'll switch to local or world, and then I'll have that option back. But if I go to local, it's actually just faking you out. If I rotate in Z, I want you to watch over here in the channel box, and you'll see that we can get this to screw up really bad. So by rotating in Z, it's actually rotating in Y, and it put a 90-degree rotation in the X and the Z. So why is that bad? Well, imagine you're an animator trying to use the graph editor, and you've set keys, and you want the predictable motion and the swing of the arm of your character. This is going to be a nightmare to try to animate around. And so what you need to do as a rigger or a character setup artist is you need to be aware of the rotation orders, so that when you set up the rotation order of you set up your joints so they have proper rotation order, so that the most major movement of that particular joint is the grandparent in the rotate order hierarchy. And that the second most important rotation for the animator is the parent rotation of the hierarchy. And then the least important rotation should be the child. Okay, so let's go through and experiment with that. I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to create a simple joint chain. Okay, so this is my root. This is just the center of the chest, clavicle, shoulder, elbow, wrist, and hand. Okay, so if I want my character to rotate the arm down 90 degrees, I can go to my attribute editor, see it, what's going on. If I grab the Z to rotate this down, then you can see that I still have all my other rotations available. Let me go to my 3D view so we can see this better. Okay, so if I rotate down in Z, because it's the grandparent, I didn't lose my other two rotations. So I can rotate forward and back. And if I rotate forward and back, I still have my twist rotation. So that's important. If the character wants to twist his arm without moving it forward or backward, then I have to have an axis that is still perfectly in line with the arm in order to do that. So let's switch this around. Let's see if I can't get it to mess up. It's usually harder than it would seem, but okay. So now if I rotate down, everything looks good, right? But if I rotate it forward, my X axis did not follow, and I cannot get my character to twist his arm properly. Not possible. So animators who animate with this bad rotate order are going to have a really hard time in their graph editor getting things to they're going to have a really hard time editing their animation in the graph editor because their values are going to be all over the place. So really the best way to understand this is just to go ahead and use it and experiment with it. So that's what we're going to do here in a minute.